When you play pretend, you don't have to be real.
Some bears live circus lives, but this bear, he's singing with the Housewives. Hello!
I'm Hunter Harden.
And I'm Papa the Bear.
And welcome to The Real Housebears. I think your podcast is toxic and a flip-flopper.
Oh my God.
It flip-flops and it's toxic.
Well, you know, it flip-flops.
Your podcast is a flip-flopper. It might as well be a flip-flop.
It should. You're right.
An Old Navy flip-flop.
No, not an Old Navy flip-flop.
It's old and tired.
Not an old...
It's old and tired and only $8.
No.
Mm-hmm. Because it's toxic. They really should have called this episode Toxic Flip-Flops.
You know what? They should have called it
I mean,
toxic
that's all that was said
flip-flops.
through the entire episode was flip-flops and toxic.
Flip-flops. I like toxic.
Or like toxic friendships and flip-flops.
There you go.
There we go.
There you go.
Toxic friendships and flip-flops.
That's a lot of alliteration, but I like it.
But I think that's better than high stakes and friendship breaks. Because there was first of all, no stakes.
There were not.
There was no food stakes
I didn't
there.
see a single steak in this whole
So it doesn't make
episode.
sense. And also, there were no high stakes. It's all been said before on all these episodes. What was the high stake?
Oh, well.
Friendships? They've already been broken.
I mean, you know what? You're right. You're right.
So I think Toxic Friendships and Flip-Flops is the perfect episode name.
Yes.
Bravo. Hit me up. I will give you
Otherwise-
one good title a season.
Otherwise, they could have just named it Old Stories That We're Rehashing Because They Never Really Finished, but we put them on pause for like 4 or 5 episodes.
Don't use that.
I think they could probably abbreviate that.
Oh, you don't think that had a nice...
I don't think that had a good
ring
flow. I
to
think
it?
they could abbreviate it and make it less.
Okay, well, maybe we'll just stick with toxic flip-flops and friendships.
You always
and-
try to improve.
I do. You know what?
on something that's already perfect.
At least I'm not having a week like poor Jen Shaw.
Yeah, she's doing pretty bad.
Like, it's the Jen Shaw versus Tamra Barney Judge.
Yeah, Tamra Judge is liking all of the negative posts about
Well,
Jen.
first, Tamra Judge says that Jen Shaw stole the liquor
From her room.
out of her hotel room at BravoCon,
Which it's not far-fetched.
I mean, okay, technically stole would probably be a word that you could use.
An
but Jen
uninvited
Shaw-
guest.
Jen probably just thought it was the liquor to drink, you know?
I think she's like, what are you going to do? Put me in jail?
Well, I mean, she was invited to a party in Tamra's room.
Yes.
And-
Uninvited at an event that she wasn't invited to.
Yeah, but nonetheless. So Tamra outs her for that. And then today...
Still is rude.
Yeah.
Don't steal my liquor from my room when I invited you in when you're not you're an uninvited guest in the first place.
I mean, Tamra Barney can afford for someone else to
I know, trust me.
deliver.
I'm just being a
Devil's
housewife.
advocate.
I'm being a housewife.
Okay, well, okay, good.
Bring it, bitch.
And then just today, fresh off the press, just a few hours before we started recording this episode, Jen Shaw's items have been seized by the feds, and it includes a lot of knockoff designer items. And
Which
of course,
is-
Tamra, you see right there below the TMZ post, Tamra posts shocked with 3 big eyeball emojis.
Which is funny because in this episode in Angie's room, there's a Gucci bag that has big yellow letters on it that says fake.
Yeah. What a coinkadink.
What a coinkadink.
Irony or
That would be
foreshadowing?
something. It's
I don't know if I believe irony anymore.
I don't know either. So, Jen Shaw, I mean, if it just couldn't get worse. Just couldn't get worse for you, sister.
It's kind of like it's the brakes are already off. Might as well snatch some kids' candy along the way. I mean, I feel like
Maybe
that
it is.
it's just I feel like the way I did with Erica in last season, where she's against a wall and she's got nothing to lose.
I put that up in here that she's like a caged animal again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I said the same thing about Erica. You're right.
We dove right into this episode. We didn't even talk about our life. What's going on in our lives?
We had a really fun weekend last weekend. We stayed out like we stayed out like young folks do.
I know that everybody listens to this podcast just for like what happens in our lives.
Well, but it was special for us because we do travel a lot and we do we have a lot of fun on the road. Mm-hmm. But when we're home, we're pretty bad homebodies. Like you gotta get the jaws of life to get us off the couch.
And when we do go to an event, we show up too early and then Irish goodbye early. Our friend Lizzie, who just had her 40th birthday, Lizzie, what's up? I don't even know if she listens. I don't think Housewives is even on her radar.
Anyhow.
Where was I going with that?
The fact that anyhow.
Well, we Irish goodbye it so much from events
that
Lizzie posted about an Irish goodbye.
Yeah, we're not great. We're the first to leave. But this weekend, we were invited to 2 parties. A wonderful, just the most fun, big gay Christmas party, a charity Christmas party.
Yes.
With we met a lot of wonderful, wonderful people.
We met some people that were Housewives fans.
And then we also got to catch up with people that we rarely get to see because we're
actually
always on our couch.
And actually make new friends.
Yeah, like make connections with people. And it was so exciting. And we were having so much fun at the first party. We're like, we don't want to go to the second party. But it was Lizzie's 40th birthday. So
and it was disco Christmas.
It was disco themed. And so we both had perfect outfits to work for both parties.
Debut.
We just put on wigs for the disco party, and it still completely worked. And we ended up not getting home till like 4:30 in the morning.
This is like crazy town.
Yeah.
That never happens to us when we're home.
And we made some new friends.
Yes.
We met a straight couple that was delightful and totally up our alley.
We don't let a lot of straight people in our circle.
Even though Lizzie and Sean are straight couple.
Anyway.
Listen, we gotta love our allies and straights.
Yes,
2 of my best friends are straight. Your bestie, Mary and Heidi, and
anyhow,
that's funny that our best friends aren't gay.
Right.
That's interesting.
But, the best allies in the world, Heather and Dre.
That's true. And it's true that you spent the longest time with, and you probably spent longer time with straight people throughout your life.
Oh, yeah, for sure. People weren't allowed to be gay when I was a kid.
Or when I was young, they were still using rock to chill.
You know what they did do when I was young, though?
Dinosaurs still roamed the world.
Yes, but they also...
Sliced bread wasn't even invented yet. Okay, sorry, go on.
They also said the taglines at the beginning of every Housewives episode. When I was a kid, when I was walking miles in the snow to school in my bare feet,
being chased by dinosaurs,
I knew that when I got home and put those sore, tired, dirty as Meredith's feet up,
size 14s,
that my housewives were going to say their tagline at the beginning of every episode, and they don't do that much anymore.
Sweetheart.
How am I going to masturbate?
We didn't have them this episode. I don't think we had them last episode.
And this was a long episode, too.
It was a supersized episode, which, normally I would think, yeah, supersize me. But this one I was like, please let it end.
I didn't enjoy this episode too much.
This is a serious episode.
But what is funny is 2 of my friends are in this episode.
Yeah.
I'll bring up later.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
So, I've
been waiting for this episode.
If at least we can't be in it. I'm getting really tired of that, too. I'm getting really tired of me not being in an episode. It's like...
It's annoying.
What is this episode even about?
That's probably why I'm just want to end the podcast now.
No,
honey. No.
Well, this episode's not about us. I can make it about me.
But it is about San Diego.
I would look so good. That's where I learned to surf, was in San Diego.
Yeah, you would look so good in San Diego right now.
Oh, yes. So much.
San Diego would look so good.
Ooh, and you know what? I look really good in a like a wetsuit, too. I look really good.
I would say
my oldest sister, Lisa.
I would like to see that.
My oldest sister, Lisa, I used hers because I didn't own one. I was a Reno boy. But my sister lived in San Diego, and she would still torments me about how I went and looked at myself in the mirror when I was in it so much because I was like, dang, my butt is good. I look great.
I bet you look great.
I look like a sexy otter.
I want to see that.
No, you don't get to now. You missed the chance. I was like 12.
I don't want to see that.
But the body of a 30-year-old. I'm just kidding.
No, I don't want to see that.
Joking.
I especially don't want to see that.
I don't want to see it either.
I just want to press the restart button.
Ooh, this is going to be an episode.
Oh my gosh, we're just getting started. You know what? When an episode starts off, the morning after, and Meredith, who has never had food in her house, Meredith has never had food in her refrigerator.
Has found all the food in the house.
And she's
made
cooking
it.
breakfast.
I would say Meredith's the mom of the morning. I mean, she's definitely catered to all these women. She made the coffee, and she's the queen of the morning.
Well, if we're going to have any fun today, at least the CEO of Fun has made us breakfast, because you're not going to have fun without breakfast.
I think she is the best CEO of assisting. I don't think the fun is in her gene. I think assisting and making that at-home comfort.
You want to give me a job?
Right. Yeah. Fair. Well, out at the pool, Lisa, Whitney, and Angie K are talking about the night before. We have I love Lisa Barlow's sense of humor. They're like, "Have you worked out?" And Lisa's like,
My workout was running my mouth last night.
"Well, I worked out my mouth last night."
And every episode, do you realize she gives an analogy about everything of how to describe things? She gives an analogy for everything.
She will give you a simile, a metaphor, an analogy. She will give it to you.
Like I'm a little obsessed, and I might need to go through every single episode and write them all down and make a book.
Oh my gosh!
Because there's one in every episode now.
Oh, multiple, probably.
And they're horrible and genius at the same time.
Yeah.
I
love it. It's so funny.
So relatable.
But Lisa is real mad still at Jen Shaw.
Listen, I like this side of Lisa. This is the Lisa, she knows where her place is in friendships. She knows she's a good person. She's not going to be turned away by anybody and be disrespected.
And I bet you she's still fuming because last night Angie K got an apology and Lisa didn't.
I know. I was thinking and neither did Heather.
Constantly getting slighted by not getting the apology
she's over
she
it.
thinks she deserves.
She's so over it.
So she's still mad about it. But, they all collectively as a group, not just Lisa and later Heather, but collectively as a group, everyone wants Jen Shaw to know, like, hey, we know that you're going through a rough time. We want you to know that we have your back. But we also want you to know that you just can't flip out at us when you lose your temper. Like, that's just...
I mean, you're throwing people's shoes in the water. You're, damaging property. Like, I can't be around
shoving people...
I could take the verbal abuse, but now it's starting to be becoming physical and...
Well, I've always said to my friends, you can always... And I've said it on this podcast, matter of fact. You can always vent to me. Just don't vent at me.
Yeah. Because, of course,
I'm not your problem.
What she's going through.
I'm not your problem, but I'm here to hear all of your problems. Like, if you just want to yell and scream for an hour, do it. Just don't yell and scream at me.
By the end of 2 days there, I made a list at the end of this of who she's been mad at in just 2 days.
Well, everyone, really.
Not Meredith.
Well, not Meredith. Meredith is pretty Switzerland. Lately.
She made breakfast, y'all. Don't mess with anybody that made the breakfast.
She's been very Switzerland mostly this season. I mean, except for the beginning.
Until the dinner at the end, then she speaks up.
So Angie's like, Jen Shaw doesn't even remember it.
And Whitney uses that opportunity to bring in how Heather forgets they're in a fight.
Yes. And, Heather clearly has noticed that there's not communication between she and Whitney. But if you don't talk about it, you realize, to Heather, and she talks about it later, this isn't so deep. That this isn't something that we can't get through. Like, it's silly that this is even happening. So I'm just going to, I'm not going to put too much stock in this.
But every time they bring it up, they're in hostile and drunk. Can you guys bring it up again when you guys aren't having a hard day? When you guys can just be there for each other at a good moment instead of waiting for the end of a day of filming all day or going to an event drunk and doing it at the end of the day. Again, at the end of the day, not eating. Like, you're just irrational. And every time Whitney brings up her issues, it's always when she's trashed.
Maybe a few shots of tequila and more champagne.
Ooh, that's not ever fun.
Well, not always when she's trashed.
Not always.
Because she does bring it up when she's in the hot tub with all the ladies.
Well, yeah, we find out that back in Whitney, like, all kinds of stuff went down in Whitney's hot tub, but mostly both Whitney and Jen
How come
Shaw.
we can't go down in that hot tub?
Well, because we're not on the cast, officially.
Whitney, come on, I love you.
But we find out, like, not only Jen Shaw was talking crap about Heather, Whitney talks about having a friendship break from Heather. And
instead of talking to Heather about the friendship break, she's talking about everybody else. And that's
right. That's the problem.
The problem in the very end.
Yeah. So Lisa goes inside and joins Heather. And, Meredith passes Lisa on the way out. And this really stood out to me. It was a really friendly moment between them. It was like, oh, you're going to go in and change your clothes? Okay. I like,
oh, I didn't even catch it.
It was
I forgot they're even having issues.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's why it stood out. It was so casual and so relaxed between them that I totally was like, oh my God, we spent the whole first half of the season
about their issues.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just been months since that broke out.
Just that calm, easy, relaxed moment between them and months in the midst of all the rest of it.
I mean, they're all probably like, our issues aren't as bad as all this.
Yeah, it slapped me in the face. So Heather's confused. She's like, I don't know where I stand from last night. We said things that we meant at the moment. But you have friends. I mean, that's why people stay in relationships in general that are unhealthy, because the highs are awesome. You have such awesome, you have the best of times. Jen Shaw and Heather were part of creating the show together. Mm-hmm. And have, a real joy and friendship. And so they've experienced some incredible highs. So when you survive those lows, and sometimes, survive is sadly the appropriate word, you forget. It's, kind of like when women forget how bad childbirth is sometimes, you just remember.
They look on it fondly, but then once they're in it again, they're like, what am I doing?
Right, yeah. So I understand why Heather is easy to forgive Jen Shaw, because she does care about her.
And honestly, Jen does this to everyone. Anybody that's on her past, she talks horribly about.
Yeah.
Doesn't
make it right.
It's the third season.
Yeah, it doesn't make it right.
No, it doesn't make it right. But Jen also is very caring. She's very giving. She's very understanding. And she's somebody that will go to the back to you when you have your back against the wall.
Bitch, yes.
Yeah.
That's the kind of person she is, and you kind of have to take all that to have that kind of person in your life. It's unfortunate, but this is a show.
She will give you the fake Gucci off her back.
Drown that bitch.
Hell yeah, she will. But she's giving everybody else, it's like, Julie, that's expensive.
I was kind of proud of that joke.
It was great. Your birthday's over.
Oh, no. Now I can't even be funny
I'm just joking.
So then Jen Shaw enters Angie K's room, and they're having a very huggy,
apologetic.
That's
oh my God, I love you, and you love me.
And then the flip flops come out.
More flip flops.
No, this is where the flip flops start.
Actually, yeah, this is where it starts.
Lisa and Heather talk about Jen
flip flop
being a flip flopper.
Flip flop and toxic.
Flipper flopper. Yes. And meanwhile, back at Angie K's room, Jen Shaw is still insisting that she was just trying to be funny. But Angie K apologizes for talking, not specifically saying for talking about all the money stuff in front of everyone, but it's pretty clear that's what she's talking about.
Yeah. But she also is like, Jen has a pattern. She even knows that Jen has a pattern. I mean, they've been friends for 20 years. Yeah. Everybody just knows this. I mean, it's whether you want to be friends with this type of person or not. I mean, we've been on the Jen Shaw train, but I am scared of. I'm sure she's talked trash about us probably at some point.
Just if it's
like,
convenient.
Oh, those hairy gay guys sweated all over me or something.
Heather, you have to hang out with them. Well, I hate those guys.
Yeah, I mean, I would feel honored.
Please,
I'm on her radar.
Please roast us. Well, but Heather and Lisa have been getting the brunt of her frustrations, of Jen's frustrations lately.
Yeah.
So Lisa's like, so how do you want to approach today? And Heather's like, I just want to be honest with Jen. I want to tell her that how she's acting is hurtful and
it's toxic.
Lisa's like, okay, well, that sounds like, at least a good way to approach, an honest way to approach it, but she doesn't sound very hopeful.
No, good luck.
So everyone's getting ready for the beach. Did you notice that Meredith has claimed pink this season?
Yeah, well,
she's not even wearing pink here, and she's like, "Oh, I see you're wearing my color."
She's been saying that since season 1, I think.
Maybe you're right.
Yeah, she has.
You know what?
Yeah, she was pink in the very first. I think in the first and second season, she wore pink. It? Yeah, and she claimed pink.
Okay.
I think somebody else claimed it for her, and she claimed it herself.
Okay. Well, you own a girl. You look good in it, but she's not wearing pink. But she's wearing like this cover up for her bathing suit. I was like, you go, Meredith. I mean, it's very see-through, and she's wearing it like on the bus ride there. That poor saint of a bus driver.
Did you notice that it's a different bus driver this season?
Well, it's a female.
Yeah,
down
and it's
there
not
in
that
San
older
Diego,
guy. That
yes.
older guy's like, listen, the feds came around last time. I'm not doing this show again.
No, right?
I don't want to get shot.
I looked it up earlier. The driver, I actually wrote down at some point. I think her name was Erica. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, good old Erica. She's saving the day.
Thanks for doing this for us. It's so
you're
magical.
Lisa isn't very excited because she wants this to be a Turks and Queso.
Yes, you know what we have.
I want those beach stands like queso.
You know, this is definitely not Turks and Queso. I said queso. Oh my gosh. This is not like Turks and Caicos. You know, I was hoping for like Turks and Caicos with like white sand beaches.
Yes, I mean
White sandy queso beach.
That's why we had Chipotle for dinner.
Hell yeah. Queso's a bomb. But I love Lisa. This is who she is. Like, she messes it up like 4 or 5 times, and then she's like, don't use that.
I don't know why. I went through all the effort to finally get it right.
No, and then just don't use it.
So, who wears heels to the beach? A housewife.
How many housewives have?
housewife.
How many housewives have in the
A
past?
million of them. You know, Kyle Richards won't be seen in anything other than heels.
She's like 5 feet.
So they arrive at the beach genie set up with John and Kristen.
With a picnic and games.
activities.
Queen of the day.
Like, you can tell.
I don't want to
at
go to a beach
first,
for activities.
No one does, except for Jen Shaw. You can tell at
Oh, well,
first-
she heard Queen of the Day. Who's going to be Queen of the Day competition? Jen's like, me.
Yeah, true.
I win.
Well, when she planned this, but everyone else, you can tell at first was like, I really want to. No, not after last night. I don't want to play games.
Whitney and Heather are team captains, and Heather makes a comment about how she just wants to go up against Whitney. And I'm like, why did you say that? Like,
I didn't
Heather,
get it.
you could tell that Whitney is already sensitive about you two. Is it her trying to break?
It was a joke. I thought
It was a
It was
joke.
a very
It's a total
intentional joke that I didn't feel like
just
was
didn't need to
trying
be happen.
harmful. I just didn't get it.
I just didn't need to be happening.
Maybe it was just bad timing. I don't know.
But Heather is strategizing the team planning because she wants, listen, when it's an art project, that's the same way I am. I'm like, I want this to be meaningful. I want to put heart into it. I don't know why they did an eyeball,
They went Greek for because Angie K.
but it's a sand castle.
Yeah, no,
Not
I
a
mean,
mound in the middle.
No, it wasn't a good decision. It was a horrible decision. But she's convinced if they're more conceptual.
Yeah, the conceptual art. I'm
More
like, these
artistic.
I'm like, these people are still in college that are running this. They don't care. They're making $12 an hour.
Yeah. So that was
That guy's gonna vote for whatever the cutest girl, and Whitney is his age. So
yeah, and she's into it.
and yeah.
She's into the competition.
Her destroying my sandcastle would not go down. I would drag her and drown her in the ocean.
No, Jen Shaw, you would
I
not.
would, because that
the
is my
Jen Shaw
art.
of it all.
And you destroyed it. I'm not having fun now. I'm just joking.
That is the Jen Shaw of it all.
I'm kind of joking, but I'm not.
I'm not trying to drown anybody.
Like,
Then there's the potato sack race. If I was hungover,
if I had a,
I mean, granted, Meredith has been giving him liquid IV this whole time. You remember at the end of the episode?
yeah, she gives it. And did you see her, Heather? Like,
No, I love me some liquid IV.
I love
It'll
liquid IV.
change your life.
I don't know what that green tea one was.
That was maybe a green tea flavored one.
Listen, people on the West Coast are obsessed with green tea.
It's good. But if I was hungover, I would not want to do like a potato sack race.
I just don't think my back would take it now that I'm like over 35.
And think about your boobs. If you
I
were
know.
a woman.
I mean, Whitney's are huge. Heather's are big.
All of 'em.
Like,
All
like
of 'em.
Jen Shaw alone. Well, the two people that cheated were Heather and Jen.
right.
I mean, they're cut from the same cloth.
right. But at the bubble soccer, Heather gets knocked over and she just stays.
You should have said, well, I mean, how do you get back up?
I don't know.
I mean, the game's over, I guess. One shot.
Heather-
But the first thing I would do is I wouldn't go for the ball. I would just run into the person and just
Right,
knock them
knock
down.
them
And then
down.
get the ball and be like, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, more of an offensive than a defense.
Yes.
But Heather does not like losing.
I thought this is where she might have gotten the black eye because she got knocked back and I thought her fists were like right there in her face.
Yeah.
And so I thought maybe she gave herself a black eye and that's why she just sat there.
No, we will never know.
I hate it that you didn't just ask her when she showed it to you. You're irritating. And now if we ask her, she's just going to be like, you have to wait.
Yeah.
My sister Sarah watches the show, and she just texted me tonight just before this, and she's like, "What happened to Heather's eye? I can't wait any longer. I know you know."
No, everyone. I'm getting texts from everyone. Corey, tell me what's up with Heather's black eye, and I don't know.
It's going to be the most Googled search pretty soon.
Not asking her is one of the biggest regrets.
Well,
of my
you
life.
do remember in like TV shows, sitcoms, where like somebody gets shot and you don't find out who died until the next season?
That's what it was.
This
for
is
me.
what it is. This is what it is.
Well, that's what it was for me. So what she came to choir practice when they came back from this trip. I saw the black eye.
In person.
Yeah, she wore sunglasses through rehearsal. But
Well, of course. Who do you want to walk around with a big black
Well,
eye?
and plus it wasn't obvious that she was wearing sunglasses. No one knew that she had a black eye. The sun like shines in the room where we were rehearsing, so it wasn't like weird that she was wearing sunglasses inside. But then after rehearsal, she took her glasses off, and I saw it. And my initial response was to just make sure she was okay. I was like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" But I didn't feel like it was right for me to ask her what happened, knowing that it happened on the cast trip. I didn't want to spoil it for myself. And
You didn't want to make her feel obligated to tell you.
yeah, I didn't want her to think, I don't want her to ever think that I
know you guys are in love and you don't
but
want
I
to
just
about
want,
the show.
I just want to build trust that I'm not trying to like get inside scoop because I'm either a crazy fan or I'm a podcaster.
Hello, I come in peace.
Nonetheless, I didn't dig. I regret it now because they have been
I didn't think
stretching
they were
this
going to
out.
stretch us out all season. Like, I can't, like, I thought tonight for sure.
You would think.
And, like, there's so many theories.
You would think.
I think I know what happened, but I'm not going to say it.
Everyone has a philosophy about what happened. Everyone.
All I'm saying, it involves those stairs right outside her bedroom.
I have no idea. But I think I do have an idea that would be a good time for us to take a break.
Yeah, I'm boiling in this hot closet.
I feel great.
I feel like a hot pocket.
You are
I'm
a
about
hot-
to burst.
Hot Pockets.
You're a hot
Because
pocket.
hot pockets do not burst in a microwave. Like, that oil gets everywhere.
Yeah. it does.
Hot pockets that don't burst. That would be their next thing.
Oh, okay. I
think
that
that-
was beautiful. You're such a good singer.
I can come up with any slogan off the tip of my noggin.
Bye.
Bye.
Your 5 minutes starts right now!
This is Heather Gay from The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and you're listening to the Real Housebears podcast.
And we're back. Call us now for Bear Tarot card reading.
Call me now for your free reading.
Just before this, we were watching the new Miss Cleo documentary. I mean, anybody that grew up in the 90s, like Miss Cleo, like everybody knows Miss Cleo.
Right.
But nobody knows who Miss Cleo is.
I had no idea it was so controversial.
I mean, we had to stop it to record this podcast, so it's like fresh on my brawn.
So thank you all so much.
So
for
I'm psychic
interrupting
now.
our
I am
lives.
psychic now.
Are you?
And I can sense that Heather will get a black eye at the end of this episode.
Can you sense that we'll actually talk about the Housewives for the next like 20 or so minutes, or do you think we'll just continue to just go off any other path that we can possibly think?
Let me see what the cards say.
Call me now.
They are saying Meredith is having dirty feet at the end of this episode.
Yes, she is. Okay, so Dana gathers some ladies for surfing. Meanwhile, Heather, Lisa, and Jen are going to get some food. Meredith, however, is not surfing. She's just sunbathing and clearly investing some time on her phone.
Can't we just relax on the beach and have a margarita?
Somebody came in here and messed with my notes. And I'm trying to find where we are. Oh, here we go. Surf. Okay, here we go.
Surfing.
Yes.
Got it? Caught up? I wonder who the mysterious
Oh, wait, no,
spirit
here we go.
was.
I don't know, but I was way down on my notes. And, like, my notes are chaotic and full of, like, red underlined words.
Yes, I see.
Okay, anyways, keep going.
So we're surfing. I was not surprised that Whitney was able to get up on the board.
Whitney, this is Whitney's thing. She loves this.
Yeah,
this type of stuff.
She's got a lot of great core strength.
Yes.
But over at world famous Coastal Cuisine, I love the little. It looks like maybe some sort of like sweatsuit that Lisa Barlow is wearing. That's like cut.
It looked like it's red. Like,
Yeah.
I'm obsessed. I'm on the
Yeah,
same
I
level
really,
with you.
I would have loved that
But
too.
I'm suspicious.
What are you suspicious about?
This world famous Coastal Cuisine Is that the name of their restaurant that they gave themselves? Because otherwise, what would their original name be?
I mean,
they just say they're world famous?
Yeah.
Or was that just given to them? That's just the name of
Yeah.
the thing, like Red Lobster.
Right.
World famous Coastal Cuisine.
Yeah. They may not.
Can you, like, world's best coffee kind of
thing.
they're
world famous now. They were just on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. People in San Diego know them. So anyone who watches the show around the world, they're now world famous.
Well, I'm allergic to it, just like Jen is allergic to shellfish.
I know that. You're not allergic to shellfish, though.
No, I love shellfish. Shellfish. My speech impediment came out for a second.
See, we're never getting through this.
Chili shellfish.
So Heather starts the conversation.
What conversation?
Talking about how yesterday was rough.
Yes.
And wondered how Jen felt when she woke up. And Jen, like I was confused. I didn't know who I was friends with, who I wasn't. Just like Heather was. Jen apologizes to Lisa pretty quickly. She's like, I don't really have beef with you. I'm sorry.
I know. Whatever I was saying, I don't remember.
She really doesn't.
She doesn't.
But Lisa's not. She's like, I'll accept your apology, but we got to talk about
Yeah,
this.
I'm not going to let you just put this under the boat. Like the shoes.
Again, y'all, you can't take antidepressants and drink. You just don't remember things.
That's another thing is Jen is on antidepressants. Just remember Erica Jane.
I mean, I know from my own experience that there was a time that I was on antidepressants and I didn't slow down my drinking and I forgot. I had as many times that I remembered as I forgot. So Heather reminds Jen that she ended yesterday with an ultimatum, in which Jen is not buying. She didn't give an ultimatum.
But she wants her to choose.
Yeah. But Heather asked Jen, she's like, do you think our relationship is toxic?
Toxic.
And then Jen's like, well, yeah, because you flip-flop.
Flip-flopper, you might as well be a flip-flop.
That wasn't a great read, Jen.
You could see this
Jen,
whole...
It's not your week. In real life or on the show.
And to be honest, I don't think Jen can really figure out why she's mad right now. She's just reacting to a lot of things, but she doesn't want to admit that she's wrong in her feelings.
Right now, she's just deflecting to make other,
She has no idea what to be mad about right now.
Yeah. But she's telling Heather that she's a flip-flopper because it seems as if Jen Shaw had the understanding when Heather came over to her house and learnred about
that she hated Angie and was going to dump Angie.
But that's not what Heather was saying. Heather was just saying, okay, I'm aware of what they've done.
It's not good.
Yeah, Heather's... What about me makes you think that I approve of what they've done? But Shaw Exposed, I think, was literally one...
About Lisa.
And I think it was only one post. I really think it was only one post.
But I can't...
Feel free to correct me. I could be wrong about that, but I think it was really only one post, and it was about Lisa Barlow.
But then again, just one more straw on the camel's back for her, even if it wasn't about her.
But, what about all the stuff that Jen was talking about with Heather and Whitney's hot tub? So Lisa and Heather do kind of make a united front here, and they really try to...
Not yet. They don't. It's not until Jen Shaw drops that she tried to commit suicide.
Yeah, I wasn't there.
That's the conversation. Yeah. No, because they don't make that initial front until after this conversation.
No, I know what you're talking about. I didn't mean like they talked about being a united front, but they became a united front to still address Jen's behavior.
Jen's behavior, yes.
Yes. But Heather says the way that she behaves is terrifying and toxic. And Jen Shaw says, well, I'm not terrifying and toxic. Saying that you behave one way is saying that you are one way is something completely different. Yes.
But then again, Jen is reaching for anything to be mad about right now.
So this is where she's like the animal trapped. And this is where she's going to go on and on about Heather. And then she talks about the suicide because of Shaw Exposed.
Yes.
Jen just dropped something so heavy, Bob the Builder couldn't even move it.
This whole thing is very upsetting.
It is.
And it's not funny to talk about and joke about either.
No. And, also sometimes Jen Shaw can be very extreme. So sometimes you wonder, did she really? Is she saying that she's saying literally that she attempted it, but in your mind...
Either way, whatever it is
serious.
A cry for help.
It's serious.
She is under a lot of stuff. It's to the point where she, even if she's just thought about suicide, whether she attempted it or not.
Yeah, my world has been rocked this week by the death of Twitch.
Yes.
I've been a fan of his for since the beginning, because I love So You Think You Can Dance. And so this really, Jen Shaw saying this on the same day.
Same day, yeah.
Episode came out on the same day of his passing. This was like, okay, you have to listen. Yeah, no matter what you think of it.
If you find out she's lying in the end, that's shame on her. But right now, you have to listen and figure out what's going on. At least just be there for her. Jen Shaw gets up and walks away because she can't have this conversation anymore. And this is when Lisa and Heather were like, I don't care what's going on. Let's just be a united front and know what the toxic levels of it. I can't leave her like this.
Right.
I can't just abandon her through all this. Let's just vent to each other about what's going on. And let's just be there for our friend.
Yeah.
Boom. Done.
Easy.
And Jen Shaw comes back and sits down and says, she can't talk about this stuff. And the ladies say, okay, let's get up, let's leave. Nobody has touched the food except for Heather. Yeah. Anyways, as she's getting up, Jen Shaw needs to say, she's like, what? Everyone think that I'm just joking about it until I actually kill myself. And then they'd be like, oh, she's saying the truth. It's just very extreme. All of this is, I know Jen Shaw is very extreme emotionally. But this is
it's starting to feel a little put on.
It's a little bit put on. I feel like it's a little bit put on, and it's not funny. It's not that something to joke about. Right. I can understand if you are asking for help, but you're really making it extreme now, yelling it at this restaurant.
Right.
It's just very unsafe. I hate this
and thing about
scene.
It's Amber. Amber is the driver.
Oh, this poor Amber. Oh my gosh, this poor
Amber. Because, like, one team, Whitney's team on the ride home, they're like, oh, we had a lovely day. It was kind of quiet. There wasn't any stress. This was nice.
It was like Disney ride and then the Tim Burton ride.
Yeah.
Because the other ride was hauntingly devastating.
But we got to get ready for the Marilyn Monroe party.
Let's turn this around.
Yes.
Please.
Everyone, they do.
Thank
Jen
God
Shaw.
for Marilyn Monroe.
Jen Shaw will turn it around.
She can.
She will.
She compartmentalizes. She knows how to
have a good time.
Anybody that can turn it around, she can.
Yeah.
We're going to buck up. We're going to get some glam. We're going to get some water. And we're going to rally, just like Marilyn Monroe would expect us to do.
Why did Angie K choose to wear olive green?
And then walk in saying, oh, we all wear the same thing. I'm like, everyone's wearing white except for you. Then the pink later on.
Which comes from Women Before Blondes.
Yes, but she's the first one to show up.
Yeah.
Are we missing an olive green dress reference?
Not that I know of. But you know what we didn't miss this season was all the charcuterie boards. I told you.
This is the season of charcuterie boards.
It totally is, and I'm glad to feel validated.
Charcuterie down the table. Charcuterie. Charcuterie.
We all know these women love a charcuterie board.
Yeah. I mean, they literally went to a restaurant that is strictly charcuterie boards.
I can't believe they went to a charcuterie board restaurant in wigs. In Marilyn Monroe wigs.
Uh-huh.
They just went to a restaurant in wigs.
If you don't go along with it, you're the problem.
I did that in college. Now that I think about it, never mind.
Of course, you went to school with a wig.
I just totally
outed yourself.
Slapped myself right in the face of that one.
Of how ridiculous you are. I just threw out your size.
But I didn't do it.
Size 28 high heel yesterday out of the closet.
But I didn't.
Look at this thing. This thing is. Look how big that thing is.
But I didn't wear wigs with a group of us didn't go out to a restaurant wearing wigs. Maybe I was the only one wearing a wig.
Maybe.
Probably.
You know you were.
Yeah. Well.
I love how you're trying to sugarcoat this. Well, maybe they were wearing wigs too. Aw, that's cute that you think that they might have been wearing wigs.
Like, I didn't crimp my hair on Cinco de Mayo for nothing.
So they recap their days. And surfing versus the very serious day, full highs and lows for both of them. High waves, low tides.
This is the restaurant where two of my friends are in the front row.
Yes, in real life, yes.
If you listen, one of my friends that does Bald and Bingeable podcast, I was just on his podcast just recently.
Yeah, a few months ago.
Bald and Bingeable.
Yeah, a few months ago. So Jen brings up that since everyone's letting it all out, maybe Whitney should let it all out, what she was saying about Heather.
Oh my gosh.
And Whitney's like, I have multiple times.
I've done this a million times.
And Heather's like, what? Is there still more to say? Like, is there unfinished business? I know that there was never resolved. I mean, it's very clear that there's never been resolved. But to Heather, like, nothing is so important that we can't just drop it.
The theme of Heather's storyline right now is haven't I been such a good friend through all of this? Can I not have a slip up and not get nailed to the cross for it? Like, I understand what you guys are going through. Do you guys understand what I'm going? Nobody has once understood what Heather Gay is going through in her life right now. Nobody's asked.
Her book is causing great duress.
Yeah.
They're opening up another business. She's got a lot going on too, but nonetheless.
I just don't know how many times. I just don't know how many times we have to have this conversation of Whitney need to be heard and seen by Heather specifically.
I mean, Heather is saying what we're all saying. We've already talked about this. What's there more to say?
I don't know what else to do to fix this.
Like, I tried to explain
I've acknowledged,
to you.
I hear you.
Yeah. But then Jen Shaw, she's like, well, we're going to get it all out. Don't you worry. We're going to get it out. Let me tell you, let me drop this on you. How about a, boom, friendship break?
And then they start fighting immediately. And then Jen says, oh, did you guys not talk about this earlier?
Oh, you didn't know that you were on a friendship break?
I thought you guys hashed this out already. Whoops.
Oh, no. Oh, wait, hold on. You didn't like the friendship break was enough? Let me give you this one. Okay. Whitney says that she's only been friends with people in the past based on how you thought about them. Bam.
Boom.
Eat it.
Oh, did you guys not talk about that either?
Oh, you didn't know? You didn't know that Whitney felt that way? Oh.
And listen, this is why I don't want to get on Jen Shaw's bad side. I don't want to be in the crosshairs because she will take it. She'll take you out.
Here's where everything changes. Heather says, all of this bullshit is not as big as my love for you.
Yeah.
Which, again, just wraps it up. Nothing that we're going through is so important that we need to even have this moment.
But Whitney only hears her feelings.
Yeah, she didn't hear my love for you. She heard the word bullshit. Mm-hmm. And then she says, oh, our stuff is... So she gets mad at Heather for calling it bullshit and then follows it up immediately with going, our stuff is not so deep that the fact that we can't.
Yeah.
So that means that your stuff is bullshit.
It's so contradictory. And honestly, Whitney is making it so much of her own recovery on making it Heather's responsibility. And that's where this is being disconnected. She feels like if she conquers Heather on this, it is going to not cure her, but it's going to help her with her own recovery. And I'm like, that recovery is yours and you can talk about it, but don't push it onto me. It's like when, like somebody that's going through recovery, they demand you don't drink around them. And of course, I'm not going to drink around them when I'm there, but I'm not going to change my whole life just to be around them. It's your own journey.
You don't hear me.
And I kept thinking of this whole entire scene. Imagine how long this conversation probably was. By the end of the scene, the women are about ready to rip their wigs off. Like, you can tell it just goes on in circles over and over again of Whitney saying, you're not hearing me. And then Heather saying, okay, well let me hear you.
Well, no, I don't
want you to hear me because I know that you're not listening. Well, here, you've got the platform. I'm going to listen. No, I'm not going to.
And then Heather, look at me, just listen to me, talk to me. And then she does. And then it's again, I don't want to talk about it now. So now here, Whitney doesn't know what to be mad about anymore, I feel.
Yeah.
And it's just
well, she's now mad.
But she doesn't want to lose the argument.
Well, no, she's now mad that it was called bullshit. That's the new thing. Now that's the new thing.
This is just going back and forth so much.
But, good old Heather. You know what Heather is most sorry about is Lisa Barlow.
How did this become about me? I have nothing to do with the issues between Heather and Whitney. I feel like I'm at the state fair and they're like trying to win the prize and I'm the plushie.
Listen, Heather cannot hide her disdain for Lisa, and I hate it.
But I also wonder how much of this conversation was edited out. I wonder how much of part of this conversation Lisa might have been for Heather to just bring it right back to Lisa like that out of nowhere.
It's just like Whitney bringing Heather into every conversation. Heather always finds a chance to bring Lisa in the conversation. And now it's, Whitney has said the most horrible things about you in this entire group, which is another thing pointing at Heather, at Whitney's accountability, which is her whole journey right now.
Well, Whitney might have felt betrayed by Heather, but now Heather, feels completely betrayed by Whitney. Like, literally, Whitney, all of this stuff is so important to you that we're going to do this.
That you're going to tell everyone else that we need a friend break instead of me when you're telling me I need to take accountability for my actions. I'm done. Yeah. I don't want to be on this cycle anymore.
You still haven't even admitted that you were talking in the hot tub.
Exactly.
They ended abruptly.
You know what? I think we need to take a breather.
And go to the
Thank
club.
God, because everyone's like, this isn't going anywhere. Can we go to the club?
But you know what? Heather's still steaming.
Of course.
Heather's still standing.
Heather can't handle, because she's just like, this is all piled up on her just now.
But you know the best way to get over it?
Go to a gay bar.
Get your tits out.
Yeah, oh my God.
Get your tits out.
Show me your tits! Show me your tits! Show me your tits!
Let me say it again. Get your tits out if you want to have fun. If the night's going wrong and you need to turn it around, get your tits out.
Show me your tits!
Tits out.
Did you see that Lisa called John at 2:25 a.m.?
I mean, of course, to let her know.
Well, I mean, it was probably 12. No, it was 1:25.
Yeah, and they, probably are. And it could have been a weekend.
Oh, that's true.
Or who even cares,
But Jen and Heather are putting their boobs against every single glass window. Those people that have to come in and clean the next day, they're probably like, why are there boob prints on every single window
exactly
here?
why there are boob
Well,
prints.
now they do.
I want to know why Meredith's feet are so dirty in that bed.
It's because she was walking barefoot in the house all day. And in like everyone's feet are dirty.
Well, I didn't see everybody else's feet.
But she did put her feet up. She's like, look how dirty my feet are.
I mean, I would wash her feet for her. I mean, I'm not saying that Meredith is gross, but I didn't like her having dirty feet up on my bed.
Dang.
So, Heather goes to her room at approximately 3:30 a.m. and tells Jen, come sleep in my room with me.
Yes. And remember, everyone, Heather is sleeping on a casita outside of the property.
Yes.
In the backyard, I think.
So at almost 5 o'clock, almost an hour and a half later, what the hell has Jen Shaw been doing for an hour and a half?
That's what I want to know.
She finally gets to Heather's room.
Which is locked. And there's a jiggle and a knock. The knock didn't seem angry or anything.
No, Jen comes in.
Cut to black screen. And then 7 hours later, like...
Heather texts Meredith, please come to my room
This
now.
is terrible. I hate... And when she walks in, she immediately is like, I'm freaked out. What is going on in here? Like, you both look super guilty. Why are you guys calling me into this room? Do you guys want some chai tea?
Right? Well... Heather's got marks all over her arm.
Scratches on one of her side of her arms and a black eye.
And we all, of course, the black eye we all know about. So, how many, one more week, if we don't find out next week, I don't know if I can, I don't even know what I would do.
Man, back in like the 90s and stuff, they would be like, next season on.
Oh, I hope we even have, we have an episode next week. They wouldn't ruin Christmas like that, would they?
Oh my gosh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, so
if they made us wait another 2 weeks, that's going to be met. Do you remember?
No, it would be longer than that. It would be even longer than. But certainly, there's an episode next week. There has to be.
I remember there was an episode of South Park where they had to find out who Cartman's dad was, and they dragged it on for like 2 episodes. And then when they were going to like announce it, they did a parody show of Terrence and Phillip show. Like they dragged that out so much, and then like, and then at the very end, we're like, oh. Who?
Guess we know where the Bravo editors got it.
Yeah, seriously.
Before we go, I want to follow up. How are you feeling about Family Karma now?
It's fine to watch. I mean, I don't find anybody dislikable on the show.
Okay.
I do feel like that one dad is very gay.
yeah, okay.
I feel like he's very gay and he can't come out because it's heritage and he's too long.
Right. So Hunter gave me the pleasure of binging Family Karma the other day while he was
playing on my phone.
So, and he chuckled and made some positive comments.
The moms are funny.
The moms are very funny.
The moms are funny. I was surprised about how highlighted the moms were on the show.
Yeah, because they're funny.
Like, all of them together, they're ridiculous.
Yeah, normally I wouldn't be into the parents.
And then they're so old world too, but funny.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Like, it's old world getting modernized right in front of our eyes.
Yeah,
it's funny.
I think that's the biggest charm of Family Karma.
And that's the show too. Like, there's a lot of gay relationships in it too. And that's
completely underrepresented in that
culture. Yeah.
All right, well, fun. Well, we don't have any new reviews this week.
So Krampus will be after all of you now.
But in the meantime, I hope we're back next week. Oh, no, next week's our 100th episode. Of course we'll be back next week. Druther Hardenwood. Heather
Together
Gay.
again.
Heather Gay and Dre Robinson will be on our podcast to talk about all things holidays and fun.
We're going to talk and do stuff and things.
Yes. So, in the meantime, join us on our social media on Facebook and Instagram. We are The Real Housebears. On Twitter, we are Real House Bears, and you can email us at therealhousebears@gmail.com.
You could find us anywhere you listen to podcasts, but if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, please leave a 5-star rating and a cute little review, and we'll make you hashtag Housebears famous. You could also watch us on YouTube and Spotify.
All right. See you next week.
Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Now we're ready for a sound check.
Okay.
Well, check.
Oh, are we doing it right now? I didn't see the movie. Checking. Check.